Good day, friends. Today we will discuss last topic of mar- market approach, in which we will be discussing. So we will be discussing two methods. One method is Hedonic Model for market analysis, and the other one is hypothetical building and plotting scheme. So we will be discussing. First of all, we will discuss hedonic model approach or hedonic pricing model. So basically, it is a technique for estimating the value of real estate, which examines the way in which different factors affect the price of property. This is mostly used by multinational companies or by real estate companies who are in dealing with the real estate properties to find out the value of the properties, that how these will be affected by various factors such as by dimensions, age, number of rooms or standard of construction, etc. How these factors will affect the value of a real estate property. So how it is done? So there are certain factors which affect the value as per hedonic pricing model. First, there are certain internal factors such as dimensions, age, number of rooms, standard of construction, and those properties which are having garden facility of gardens or which are having swimming pool in it, how these factors affect the value of the property. And some external factors such as location, close to the parks, schools, public transportation, and shopping centers, etc. How these factors affect the property price or value of the property. And then, of course, certain other things such as environmental qualities, noise level, safety in neighborhood, and the quality of air and water. These also affect the value of real estate. So how this model or how this method works? First thing is you have to collect data as in other methods. Here also you have to do this thing, data collection. So data is collected for features that compile information on real estate transactions such as features and prices. So we collect the data. We will discuss it with in examples how this is done, and then from the data, regression analysis is done. Regression analysis is done to determine the impact of each factor on the property prices. This regression analysis, it is done with certain statistical tool to determine the impact of each factor on the property prices. So this entails a building a regression model with the price of the property as the dependent variable and the attributes of the property and outside variable as independent variables. So you know, in regression analysis you have two types of variable. One is dependent variable and other one is independent variable. So dependent variables will we take price of the property as a dependent variable and other factors, other attributes as independent variables. And then from the regression analysis, what it will tell, it will calculate how much each component contributes to the final price of the property. This analysis will tell. For instance, it may calculate the value of addition that an additional bedroom or park vicinity makes a property. So this an example will make all these things clear to you. So what are the advantages of this method? It gives detailed insights through graph, offers a thorough grasp of factors influencing real estate values, and there is certain flexibility adaptable to various property types and markets. We can use it for commercial, residential, and we can take it this method for various types of markets. And limitations, this method is based upon data. So data intensive method, because of this you have to collect this accurate and comprehensive data. If you are not able to collect this accurate and comprehensive data, this method will not work properly. So these are very two important things. Accurate and comprehensive data are necessary for trustworthy outcomes. And complexity, so complexity, to create analyze the model, one must possess a good background in statistics. So real estate valuation analysis appears frequently. Analysts and appraisers frequently utilize this method to estimate the worth of property. So this is generally used for policy making by the real estate companies to determine how environmental regulation affect the real estate values. So we will discuss this hedonic pricing model, which is especially helpful because of a variety of factors, both internal and external, and can affect the property's worth. So let us suppose, for example, we have collected the data on 10 houses. This is just an example. I have data of 10 houses in a neighborhood, including their sale prices and various characteristics. We have collected this data. So you would want to determine how these characteristics influence the sale prices. So there are 10 housing, the prices of each house is we have collected, and size, what was the size of each plot, how many number of bedrooms were there in these houses, number of bathrooms, age of each house, then whether there was pool in the house or not, swimming pool, or whether there was garden in the house or not. One, it means it contains or there is a pool in the house. One means yes, zero means no. So there is no pool in this house. Number two. So this is the data which we have collected from the area. Then what we will do, we'll make this price as dependent variable and all other as independent variables, and will carry out regression analysis in certain software, such as we can do it in Excel. So we will use multiple linear regression. We will use multiple linear regression to, so what we will do, we will try to establish an relationship between sale price and the property characteristics. So let us suppose the equation is price is equals to beta 0 plus beta 1. Beta 1 reflects size, beta 2 bedrooms, beta 3 for bathroom, beta 4 for age, beta 5 for pool, and beta 6 for garden. So we carry out regression analysis on software. Let us suppose we do it on Excel, and this is a data. This is the analysis result. Let us suppose. So this is the coefficients which we need for establish the relations. These three columns, these reflect whether our analysis is valid or not. So for example, these p values, these are very important factors in regression analysis. These values should be less than 0.05. If the values of the p values are greater than 0.05, then you have to delete a variable and then rerun the regression until and unless all the values are less than or equals to 0.05. So this is where we will carry out the regression analysis. Now we will establish an equation. So see, interpreting the results, how we will interpret the result. Beta 0, this is the base price of the house with all other variables set to 0, is 1 lakh. Size beta 1, what it shows, see here, beta 1 size 150. So what it means? It means with an additional, each additional square feet adds 150 rupees to the house price. Similarly, each additional bedroom adds 10,000 in the house price. Similarly, bathrooms, each additional bathroom adds 15,000 in the house price. Similarly, A's. So now A's, it will decrease, not increase. Here the value is negative. So each additional layer will reduce the price by 1,000. Okay. And beta 5, having a pool adds 30,000 to the house price. See here, this is 30,000. And having a garden adds rupees 10,000 to the house price. So our equation will be for a house with the following characteristics. Size, let us suppose we have to collect the size is 2500 square feet. Here for example we have to calculate the value of a house which is having size 2500 square feet, bedrooms 4 bedroom, it is having 3 bathrooms, its age is 5 years, it is having one pool, and it is also having garden. So the price will be base price, which is 1 lakh, plus 2500 square feet multiplied by 150. We know for each square feet 150 is added. Then 4 into 4 bedrooms, each additional bedroom adds 10,000, each bathroom adds 15,000, and A's, with the A's, each year it decreases the value by minus 1,000, plus if there is pool the value is increased by 30,000, if there is garden the value is increased by, price is increased by 10,000, and if you do all the calculation the value comes out to be rupees 5,95,000. So in this way you can find out the value of any property with the help of this equation. This data is, if you can get it from the regression analysis. This is very simple method, but it requires certain knowledge of statistical tools, and it of course it requires accurate data collection. And then there are, this is the last method, which is hypothetical plotting scheme. So in hypothetical plotting scheme, what we do, let us suppose that we have a very large chunk of land. So if you have to do its valuation, what we will do, so you have the data of the plots. Let us suppose this plot is 10,000 square yard. Okay, but the general land plot, they are, which are sold in this area, they are generally of up to 100 square yard. So let us suppose the rate is 30,000 per square yard. So but you cannot apply this 30,000 per square yard to this 10,000 square yard plot. So for that, what will you do? You will divide it into, hypothetically you will divide it into plots. You will provide road, hypothetical roads and other facilities such as parks and water supply systems, etc. And then for each plot you will calculate the value based upon this 30,000, and then applying certain positive or negative factors to find the value of each plot, and then add all of them. Then from that you will subtract the cost of roads and other related things to arrive at the value. How it will be done, we will take it will understand, try to understand with this one example. So basically when you are doing hypothetical plotting, what you have to do, first thing you have to do the analysis of allocation. This is a important thing. that you can do this only when the property is having good road access and being adjacent to highways, airports, and public transport network increase the value of land. Then proximity to urban centers. So if the land is near to the cities, transportation hubs, educational institution, commercial zones, it will have to tend to have higher values. Then land use and zoning regulations. As per zoning laws, what what are the setback limits, what are the maximum heights permissible as per building bylaws, what is restriction density restriction means population density restriction, acceptable land use is whether it is you can use it for residential or commercial purposes, so or it has mixed use. So you can do carry out this plotting based upon these building laws and based upon these requirements, whether it is nearer to the main road, whether it is nearer to the urban areas or not, depending upon these conditions. Then whether there is prospect of development. So subdivision facility is feasibility is ability of the property to be divided into smaller plots that can be used for commercial, industrial, or residential purposes. Whether it is possible, then topography and soil quality are also important factors, as it is easier and less expensive to construct flat, stable ground with good soil bearing capacity. Then, of course, dynamics of supply and demand in the market, that is very important from economic point of view. If there is good economic growth in the local market, so land values are typically higher in such cases where the economic growth are and favorable demographics. Investors sentiment, how the investors are investing in this area, depending upon that the land values may rise as a result of favorable market trends. Then of course availability of facilities and infrastructures in that area, that planned and existing infrastructure is there. If land value is increased, being close to public transportation, utilities, parks, schools, and medical facilities, etc. And then this is important thing, future development plans. So land value can be greatly increased by upcoming infrastructure such as road extensions, metro rails, and smart cities initiatives. Then hypothetical plotting, what is the procedure for hypothetical plotting scheme? First thing you have to do, land segregation. So depending upon the predetermined factors, land use, location, and development potential, you will divide the large parcel into smaller hypothetical plots. So this is, you remember, this is just hypothetical, not actual plotting. And then plot size and configuration. Choose the best plot size and configuration to take into account the preferences of the market and legal requirement. According to that, you choose the best plot sizes, and then you carry out the market analysis and benchmarking. A thorough market analysis should be conducted to identify the comparable land transactions and benchmark prices for similar plots in that area. So benchmark prices should be adjusted. So this is the adjustment, we have already discussed in the last video how this adjustment is done on the differences in location, size, zoning, and other pertinent factors to arrive at a fair market value of the hypothetical plots. Then take into account factors like frontage, depth, and shape. Then you have to check the regulatory compliance and development potential. So how they affect the development and appraisal of land, regulatory limitations you have to take into consideration. Then determine the potential for future development and limitations that come with each hypothetical plot, taking into account elements like allowable land uses, floor area ratios, and setback regulations. So In this way, you can do plotting of a large size plot. You have to take care of all these things, and then with an example you can understand. Calculate the value of a plot which is, let us suppose it this 86 by 190 feet plot. It is located in commercial locality of the city. So since it is a large chunk of open land situated in commercial area, development method is applied. A hypothetical plotting method is applied for valuation. The whole area is hypothetically divided into shops as per attached plan, and view value of each shop is estimated. The cost of land use, development charges, and expenses for no objection and other charges are deducted from the estimated value. The study of stale instances in the nearby properties in the form of land indicated that the land rates vary from rupees 5 lakh to rupees 8 lakh per shop. Value Work out the value of the property. So what we do, we divide this whole plot which is 190 feet depth and 86 feet wide. We divide it in two parts. These shops are 30 feet, 33 feet on this side, 33 feet on this side, and in the middle we provided a road which is 20 feet wide. So we divided it into 28 plots, 6 plots on the front road, main road, and other plots are on the road which we have provided as per our plotting. This is just an example. So what we do, the whole land is divided into 8 shops with the 20-foot wide road provided in the middle. So we take the value of front shops 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These front shops as 8 lakh. Assume the rate as 8 lakh. So it value is 48 lakh. Then from 7 to 13 up to this level. From 7 to 13 and from 22 to 8. We assume the price of these shops as these 14 shops, 7 to 13 and 22 to 28 at the rate of 6 lakh per shop. So 14 shops rate at the 6 lakh per shop, 84 lakh. Then from shop number 14 to 21, from shop number 14 to 21, we assume the price as 5 lakh per shop. So these 8 shops have a price of 5 lakh per shop, 40 lakh. So total 48 lakh plus 84 lakh plus 40 lakh total is 1 crore 72 lakh. So we assume that it will take 2 years period in which these shops can be sold. So we will find its deferred value for 2 years. So at the rate of 9%, we assume present value comes out to be 1 crore 44 lakh 65,000. So let us suppose the development charges, CLU, NOC, and other charges for roads and etc. is 20% of this 1 crore 44 lakh 65,000, which comes out to be 8 lakh 93,000. So it means net realizable value is 1 crore 35 lakh 72,000. This is just an example which will make the things clear that what is hypothetical plotting method. Similarly, in as we have done in the hypothetical plotting, here also in case of if you have to find the value of the land, we can use another method which is hypothetical building scheme. It is generally used if the property is situated in a commercial, let us suppose in Krolbag area of Delhi, a bungalow is situated. So this bungalow is an old bungalow which cannot be used for commercial and it has to be demolished. So you cannot directly find the value of the land. For that you can use the method which is hypothetical building scheme method. In this method, what we will do, we will assume that we will construct a building over it, over the plot, and then we will see that how, mm, like if the building, if the we construct, let us suppose a shopping complex over it, then we will check that how much income it can generate, and from that income we will calculate the value of the whole building. From that, cost of construction and other costs are deducted to find the value of the land. So we will do hypothetical building scheme. So for that, first you have to conceptualize that what type of building you can construct, whether residential, commercial, or a mixed use building. Then you must have target market. You determine the intended demographics, that young professionals or families or companies, etc., who can buy or who can take these properties on rent. Then analysis and site selection. Then design and style, you means how architectural design is to be provided and how the space is to be utilized depending upon the use of the property, including parking lots, gardens, and common areas, etc. Then estimate the cost of building cost, how much it will be, cost of supplies, the labors, machinery, construction, etc. Then soft cost. So determine the cost of marketing, design, legal fees, and permit costs, etc. Then contingency means set aside the money in your budget for unanticipated costs. Then you have to do income forecast from the hypothetical building. You will calculate the what will be the rental income if the property as a whole or a certain portion can be given on the rent. Then what will be the rental income if the property can be outrightly sold? Then how much projected revenue from selling the apartments or spaces you can calculate. And other income, taking into account supplementary sources of income such as retail leases, parking fees, and amenities, etc. Then evaluation of finances. So you calculate the net present value, because the property, such property cannot be sold in a, it will take certain time. You can sell it within a short period of time. It may take 2 to 3 years. So after doing, getting value based upon either rental or sale proceeds, you calculate the net present value of the property, and you may also calculate the internal rate, return rate to check the investment's profitability. Then payback period, that how long it will take to recoup your initial investment. Then other things you have to take into consideration, the regulatory compliances and green building standards, etc. Then evaluation of risk, whenever you are doing this type of calculation, market risk, construction risk, financial risk, etc., you have to take into account. Then you have to use uh, which technique you have to use. If you are using market approach, then evaluate against nearby comparable properties. If the property can generate income, then you have to use income approach. And if it is outrightly sale, then you have to use cost approach to calculate the uh, depreciation also from the value of the buildings. So you have to calculate depreciated replacement cost of the buildings, including land and construction cost. Then how the valuation report is done, you have to provide a detailed report in which you will give all the information. Through the report, you can provide plans, graphs, use charts and 3D models to substantiate your valuation report. Then if you you can do stakeholders presentation, get ready for to give a presentation to the lenders, investors, and other interested parties. So this is what as a valuer you have to do. So we will make the things clear with an example. So an investor desires to purchase a property by undertaking building project for regular rental income. See here, it is for regular rental income. Relevant details of the property are as under. Area of the plot is 4,000 square meter. Permissible FSI is 1. Zoning of the plot is commercial. Prevalent rental value of the built-up area of offices in the locality is rupees 300 per square meter per month. Property taxes are 80 rupees per square meter per month. Building construction cost is 8,000 per square meter. Expected rate of return is 12%. Adopt insurance at 12.5% of rent. Collection and management repair maintenance expenses are 5% of rent. Sorry, it is 3% of rent. Calculate the land price that could be offered to the landowner by residue method. Given that expenses for completing the project, architect and consulting the fees is 3% of cost, advertisement and brokerage 4.5% of building value, and legal and administrative cost 2% of building value. So see here. So total built up area, we will assume that we will construct a building whose total area as FSI is 1 is to 1, so you can construct 4,000 square meter of the area. So built up area may be maximum, we will assume 1 is to 1, so we assume that area built up area is 4,000 square meter. So annual receivable income 4,000, it is 300 per square meter per month. So for annual you multiply it with 12. So total it comes out to 1 lakh 144 lakh per year. So outgoing cities is given that property tax 38.4 lakh, and then it if property tax is 80 rupees per square meter per month, you multiply it with 12, it 38.40 lakh. Repairs it is given at 5% gross rent, so 7.20 lakh. Insurance half percent of gross rent 0.72 lakh, and collection and management charges at 3% of gross rent, which is 4.3 lakh. So add all these four, total outgoings are 50.64 lakh. So net receivable income per year is 93.36 lakh. So investor desires 12% yield on his investment. So you calculate the value at 12%. So price net the 3 net income multiplied by YP, which is in perpetuity 1 upon R means 100 upon 12, so 778 lakhs. This is the value based upon the income generation. Now see here, this we you know that it is not likely to start at least 12 2 years period, so we will assume that it will take at least 2 year periods after which the it will take to construct the building. So the income will start after 2 years period. So we assume that the value is therefore deferred at 12%. So about 1 year will be required for construction, and 1 year will to find all the tenants for premises available in the building. So the value is therefore deferred at 12% for 1 year, half period for commencement of full income. So net present value 778 multiplied by 0.892, so it is 693.98 lakh. This is net present value. So out of this you have to deduct the Expenses for completing the project, which is building cost 4,000 square meter at 8,000 per square meter, 320 lakh. Architect and consultancy fees 3% of the cost, 9.6 lakh. Advertisement and brokerage 4.5% of building value, 14.4 lakh. Legal and administrative cost 2% of building value, this is 6.4 lakh. So total expenses are 350.40 lakh. So net present value is 693.3898 lakh, and expenses are 350.40 lakh. So the land price that can be offered, it will be 693.98 minus 350.40, 343.58 lakh. So this is all about these two methods. So if you have any suggestion, please you can give your suggestion in the comment box. Please like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel. This is our YouTube channel www.youtube.com at Valuers Club 07 for more such educational videos on valuation and other related videos. And of course, all these videos are free of cost. Thank you, friends. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.